Africa's Mweli Masilela, following that story, joins us now. Mweli, good afternoon to you. Officials there having their hands full in the last 2 days. What's the situation like this Monday lunchtime?
Stephen, more and more people are still coming from the Zimbabwe side, heading to South Africa. But now, just midday, we are seeing also quite a queue of people coming from the South African side, heading to Zimbabwe. But the most important part of the operation also, Stephen, you'll know that it's the monitoring of people who are trying to cross between South Africa and Zimbabwe illegally. And as we have heard from the Commissioner of the Border Management Authority, they've intercepted about 25 since this morning. And that operation continues to look around the areas where the borderline, the border fence is broken. That's where most of the people are taking advantage of the situation, crossing between the two countries illegally. But the numbers, it seems, they are being updated every now and then, Stephen. But let me just bring in the Commissioner now, just to give it as an update in terms of the situation at the present moment. Commissioner, earlier on, we spoke about 25 being intercepted. What are the numbers currently?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Mweli. Yeah, no, we continue to do the work, and I think you saw, as we're continuing to do it even in the operational center there in terms of the work of the drones. So since we intercepted the 25 earlier in the morning, now we've just added around 5 that were intercepted and they were brought into the port. So as I'm talking to you now, the colleagues are busy processing them. As you will know, they take their fingerprint and make sure that they get processed for deportation. The most issue is about them having to be V-listed to make sure that we are no longer going to be allowing them to enter the country for the next 5 years. So that is basically the work that we are doing. As we speak now, if you were to check in terms of the drone picture, you will realize that Limpopo River is now in a way clean. There's nobody who's trying to come in or out illegally into the country, primarily because they are aware that we're actually monitoring. So for us, the level of deterrent becomes critical, because the more we deter them from going there and get them to the port, that is exactly what we need.
So the treatment is different when you look into the facilitators as well as those who are crossing illegally, because these ones we just intercept and deport, and the facilitators have been arrested. Is it still 2, or there's more facilitators arrested?
Yeah, you see, the facilitators that we were able to monitor through the drone that we ultimately arrested, it was yesterday, and it is only those 2. The ones that we actually intercepted, we were not able to pick up as to whether there is a facilitator among them. Because for us to be able to say this is a facilitator, we need to have some element of evidence through which we will have been able to monitor that person, walking around, communicating with somebody else, and be able to lead the people. And that is how we are able to pick up who the facilitator is. But in this instance, out of the number that we can talk about for today, which is around 30, we don't necessarily have anybody identified as the facilitator. And that is why all of them are being processed for deportation. With facilitators, as we always say, we don't deport them, but we make sure that they get arrested by the police, and we open a case of aiding and abetting.
And looking into those who are complying, crossing the border, how are the numbers? Because we know that in the past 2 days, it's been over 25,000 per day, people being cleared at the border.
Yeah, no, indeed. I mean, the average has just been around 25,000, as we have indicated even here in Beitbridge. But of course, on that particular basis, we can say we are continuing to process. We're just counting the buses, by the way, that are actually on the queue that are coming through. We counted over 30 buses that we've already processed since this morning. And of course, the others are actually still on the way. We keep on talking to the Zimbabwean side, and they indicate the buses that are actually coming through. For now, on the queue, on the Zimbabwean side, we've been able to count around 15 of the buses that are still on the way to our side. And of course, once they arrive here, we will definitely be able to process them. So in terms of the numbers, up to this point, which is like midday, we are looking at around 15 or so thousand that we have already processed up to this point. But in terms of the aggregated number, we do them over 24 hours, and we'll be able to give the proper statistics tomorrow. So at the end of the day, we had thought that the peak was yesterday, and therefore today will be slowing down. But we see that the numbers still, they keep on coming. The buses keep on coming. The pedestrians also keep on coming. So it looks like we might end up being back to equating the number of an average, which is around 25,000.
All right, Commissioner, thank you for your time. We'll get an update later in terms of the situation on the ground. So the buses the Commissioner is talking about, they are here, and quite a number of people are still waiting to cross into South Africa. But the process much quicker today compared to the past 2 days, where we saw a lot of people spending a long time on the queue. And it looks like today the buses are coming just in small amounts, like 10, 20, compared to what we've seen in the past few days, Stephen.
Mweli Masilela, thanks so much for that update. Do appreciate more updates from him and the team there. And of course, it's a huge rush back primarily to Gauteng for the start of the working year.